What's going on, everybody? This is Logan here at Vaporleaf, here today with the Ohmsmium 80 watt. This is a single 18650 device that can charge through a micro USB, and it is hefty. I mean, it's basically a metal brick. So let's go ahead and dive down and take a closer look at it. Alright, so here we are up close with the ASMODUS Ohmsmium 80 watt. You get a pretty shiny box here, all kinds of decals on it. If you open that up, of course you get the device inside of there. And if you pull that foam up, and you also get your literature, user manual, and all that. As you can see, the finish on this guy is just ridiculously nice. This like brushed stainless steel look, these metal buttons. The paint job is really good looking as well. You get that shiny 510 connection, and I believe that's a spring-loaded 510 as well. And then your battery access is on the bottom here, and you do have some venting there as well. And since this is basically just a solid brick of metal, having those vent holes basically stops it from becoming a grenade if your battery were to go up in flames. Now, opening this battery compartment is a little bit of a pain. You have to unscrew this little disc, but that is going to be a really durable way to do it. And the other side is that they don't actually mark which side is positive or negative, but the way that I think about it is this little bar here means that that side is the negative. So your positive is going to go down inside of there, and then this is going to be where your negative sits. So we'll go ahead and pop a battery in there. Positive down. Screwing the disc back on can be a little bit of a debacle. There we go. And you just tighten that down to where it stops, basically. You don't want to crank that down too far, you can risk damaging your battery. And then we're booted up. Given the way that you get to your battery, I would say it's definitely going to be best to charge through that micro USB port, otherwise you're going to rip all your hair out trying to open this and close it all the time. So first off, we're booted up into wattage mode here. If we do 3 clicks on the fire button, then that opens up this little menu on the bottom here where you can choose watt mode, nickel temp control, titanium temp control, stainless temp control, or mechanical mode. Now, of course, mechanical mode is basically just going to fire directly from the battery. That's why it doesn't show wattage, really. So whatever resistance atomizer I put on there, it's just going to fire directly from the battery. 3 clicks again, we can go over into the temp control mode here. To change the temperature, of course, it's just down and up, and it goes from 200 to 600 degrees. To change your wattage in temp control mode, you do 2 clicks on the fire button, and then scroll up and down. Tap the fire button to lock that in, and in this mode, if we hold the fire button and to the right, then we get to the TCR settings, so you can change the value of the temperature coefficient of resistance for whatever material you're using. Hold the fire button and to the left, and you get into the system settings. Now in temp control, it gives you the option for screen rotation, number of puffs, taste adjustment, and screen off. Screen rotation, of course, will rotate the screen. Number of puffs, as that's going to be your puff counter. You can take off the number of puffs that you've taken, or set a limit if you want to do it that way. I don't, so to get out of that, 2 clicks, and then fire button and to the left again to get back into that menu. Now, even though it gives you the option to change the taste adjustment in temp control, this is actually a wattage only feature, because if we select that, then it gives us basically this preheat setting. We've got 5 different values that we can change, up to plus 30 watts or minus 30 watts from your original value, and the time interval between each one of those. So say you set the first one to plus 30, and then plus 20, and then plus 10, and then 0, and then minus 10, with an interval of 0.5 seconds. That's going to add to your wattage, plus 30 for that first one, then after half a second it's going to add plus 20 to your wattage, and so on and so forth. To turn that on, you select on. To turn it off, you select off. And then to get each one of those changed, see if you can get a closer look at this, tap the fire button when you're on one of those numbers, and then you can change the value. Tap the fire button again to lock it in, and then I'm just going to scroll over to off, double tap, and then we're back into the main screen. Now in any mode, you can press the up and down button or left and right button, whatever you want to call them, hold those down, and lock your settings. So you can't use these buttons anymore, but you can still use the fire button. To unlock it, it's the same thing. hold those two, and then you're good to go. Now with the atomizer I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be running in power mode, so I'm going to do those 3 clicks, go in either direction until I get to wattage, tap the fire button to lock that in, and now I'm in wattage mode, and I'm actually going to be running at 35 watts as well, so that is perfect. And before we head up, we do of course get the resistance on the top left, voltage, battery life, wattage, the mode that we're in, and then our puff counter. And that's about all there is to that. Pretty simple, but still plenty of options. Let's go ahead and bring it up top and see how it works. Alright, so I went ahead and threw my Trident V2 on there, my gold-plated one. Really good flavor RDA. I've just got a nichrome build on there. I'm just going to be running in wattage for today, not messing around with any temp control. But let's go ahead and see how it does. It's perfect. I mean, this isn't a really high-demand build. It's just 35 watts and you're done. But it's really good power delivery, nice and consistent. I'm going to try pushing the limits of this RDA a little bit. I'm going to bump the power up to 45. Alright, we're at 45 watts. Let's see how it does. Yeah, that's perfect. That's just like 45 watts on any DNA device I've used or anything like that, so it seems like it's a really accurate chip. Overall, I think the build quality is just absolutely fantastic. It's one of the prettiest devices I think I've ever seen. I have heard that the paint isn't the most durable, so if you love the way that it looks, you either have to take really good care of it or just don't get too attached to the finish. Now, as I mentioned before, this is basically a solid metal brick, even without a battery in it. This thing is a bit of a workout to lift. That means it is ridiculously durable. In a video that I watched for it, they knocked it across a parking lot with a golf club and then hammered some nails in, broke a watermelon open, and then they did their piece on it. So while durability definitely won't be an issue, the weight kind of is. I wouldn't really say this is going to be a great pocket device unless you have a really nice belt, but at the same time it is really small. And I have to say, I do actually like the weight. I like how durable it is, I like how hefty it is. It all adds to the ridiculously good build quality of this thing. So overall, I think it's just a fantastic device. I absolutely love it. So that's going to do it for today, guys. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to leave a comment. If you like the video, please like the video, and be sure to subscribe for all the latest and greatest videos from Vaporleaf. We'll see you next time. Bye.